And it's Gordo here from Gordo's Games, and we are back for some more content this evening. So today we're back for a profile for a Marvel Snap, requested by one of the people viewing one of the recent videos. Appreciate the comment. If you do wish to see more videos overall from any of you, if you do want to see any particular profiles or gameplay, hit me up in the comments down below. And always don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you know when this great content goes live for you. And don't forget, you can catch me over on Twitch streaming Marvel Snap, Diablo, Digimon TCG, a variety of different games. So feel free to stop by, chill out, and hit the follow over there so you know I'm live on that also. Link is down in the description as always. Let's get into it. So the profile of today is Silver Surfer. So with this one, there's a very common theme in it. So we're going to go over the main card, then you'll understand as to why it looks the way it does. That's not it. That's the main card. So Silver Surfer. On reveal, give you 3 cost cards plus 2 power. There you have it. 3 cost cards. The deck emphasizes around the 3 cost cards because Silver Surfer will buff all of them inherently by +2. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it can be enough depending on based on the way the deck plays. So this is the reason why there is a lot of 3 costs. This is why the play style is slightly different to others, whereas like you normally have a turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and if you do quite mapped out, you're trying to keep even numbers or have something so you can have some form of early turn. With this one, you do end up passing a few times till you get to that turn 3 point. But this is where the selection of cards and the toolbox of cards comes into it. Now we do have a turn 1 and 2. If we are fortunate enough to pull them, so which is Nova, which is when this card is destroyed, give your cards +1 power. We have a way to destroy it, so what it means is when we lock down a point, we can use this to try and buff things on that point if we weren't winning it, so we can then look to win it, along with the Silver Surfer buff. We have Goose for turn 2, which stops them from playing 4, 5, and 6s in a location. The reason this is good is because we can shut down some of the big cards that would ideally just win the lane outright against us. So if we do see it, great stuff. And then we move into the 3 costs. Now we have a selection and they all play a different part. Now, in a scenario where you come across a tile, let's say for example where it says you can fill this tile, you get the first hand back, or you'll get 3 max energy, or you'll get 3 6 cost card. Brood is your guy. You play Brood and 1 thing down, you've already filled the spot, which is a little bit too quick for people to keep up with sometimes. Ironically, if you do see that, a Nova into a Brood, if you're able to do it, is always a good turn. Moving on from Brood, we have probably our second most used combo in this deck. So as you notice, we don't have a great deal of power. We're not all about the big buffs. We don't like 12 plus onwards. We are relatively low numbers, but with all different unique traits to them. Storm, it allows you to shut off a location. So what that basically means is, on reveal, flood this location. The next turn, next turn is the last turn cards been played here. So if you generate this, which is flooding, which means that turn you can play the cards there, and then the turn after that, it will then shut it off. So you cannot play things there afterwards. You can move things. You can get things like Phoenix Force or Nightcrawler or Vision, things like that. Or Hela can generate things in it, but you just can't play things in it. Doctor Doom lets you play stuff in it. You just can't outright play things yourself. Now, with that one of the reason why this combo works so well is normally if you play this down, because what you want to do is you want to play this on a zone that's got nothing on it. They've got nothing, you've got nothing on it, because you want to try and win it as best you can. So what we'll do is then we will play this, then the turn after you'll play Juggernaut, which is on reveal. If your opponent play cards here this turn, move them randomly. So basically you hit them straight off that point will close down and you'll have 5 points there. If they don't have a way to contend it, you win that point, which means they have to maximize winning the other 2. They have to win the other 2, which means they often end up leading to splitting their resources, because we're still going to play the things that they generally mess around with their board state. Killmonger is obviously pop 1 costs. Great if you're playing against a bounce decks. If they have priority, play your Killmonger, get rid of the Kitty Pryde before it just keeps getting more and more annoying. We have Shadow King. If they have anything that's been buffed repeatedly, let's say it's the Destruction Attack and Venom or something, and they've just been repeatedly buffing it, making things on and on and on, you can use this, set it down to 0. Oh, set it what it was, so 3, technically. So you reset the stats. So anybody that has got buffs gets reset. Alright. Be mindful doesn't stop ongoing though. I believe they still have working effects. So, like for example, if it was a null, there's a lot of stuff happen. You would set them to 0, yes, but they would still receive their ongoing buffs. I believe how that works. If you're playing against a move deck, and 6, they may want to move everything to the left hand side. So you'll notice move decks, they don't do it as much as they used to, but Heimdall moves everything one side, one to the left. So if you see they keep playing into the middle and right, you generally will get the idea that they are going to look to shift things later on. I could be wrong there. Sometimes they usually play into Phoenix Force, but quite often you'll see that if you have this down in one of the locations, it stops them to be able to maximize on turn 6. Polaris, let's say we want to move one of their things off of, at a certain point. If we're contending to win it, we'll pull this off of it in hopes that it gives us enough power on that point to take it. Or we'll move it onto a location so they can't placement down there to buff out the location. Maximus 3/7. It's got a hindrance, which is draw 2 cards. Your opponent draws 2 cards, so it's not exactly something you want to play down early. Probably on the last minute card if possible, or later in the game depending on the game state, or not at all. But it's in there because it's a 3 cost and a 7 body. Iron Man is in there because I am a fan of this card. It does a lot of work. Because we don't run big numbers, it allows us to double up our power so that we can potentially win those points still. But this could quite easily be interchangeable with the new Jean Grey, which is a 3/3, which is the first card every person plays has to be played in that location if possible. So it doesn't completely shut out the location, or shut off your game. If the spot is filled, you just play everyone else as normal. It's like Morag but reverse. The other one is Sarah. So generally how the game looks like, so in the perfect world, you go turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Goose, and then turn 3 is your selection things. Generally you want to go Storm, then turn 4 you're going to Juggernaut, then turn 5 is where it's, as you can see, it gets a little ambiguous because everything is a 3 cost. You can't really ever play down 2 things. So if you have a Sarah in the deck, you can play Sarah down turn 5. And what that basically does, your turn 6 normally would be you play 2 cards down and hopefully win off the back of it. Sarah lets you play down 3 cards, so it increases your odds of winning overall. So those would be the 2 I'd change in if you didn't want to run the Iron Man, would be Jean Grey or Sarah. But you let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are, if you have managed to test the deck or not. And if you do like any of these videos, if you do want to see more, and any particular gameplay videos, deck profiles you want to see, by all means hit me up in the comments down below and I'll get out there as quick as I can. Thank you all for tuning in to Gordo's Games.